Max Lawson from London. He's the head of the inequality policy over at Oxfam International. Max, good to have you on the show. All right, here's the situation I'm going to put you in. If you are a poorer country and you hear rich countries talk about global vaccine solidarity, does that make any sense to you?
Well, I think I would see it as kind of rank hypocrisy at the moment, because you have a situation where rich countries are hoarding vaccines. They have more than 3 times the number of vaccines they need in terms of orders, and they are failing to open up the vaccine recipe. So they're defending the rights of their pharmaceutical firms over the lives of many. And this is a really serious issue. As you see, cases on the rise around the world. Just a few weeks ago, I lost one of my oldest friends in Malawi in Africa to COVID-19. Within a few days, she had some trouble breathing, and within a few days, she was gone. This is happening all over the world. These people deserve vaccines. This is a global emergency of unprecedented nature, and to try and defend the profits of pharmaceutical firms over the lives of millions is morally reprehensible. So if I was in a developing country now, I would be very angry indeed with the leaders of rich nations.
Malawi, one of the many countries who are taking part in the COVAX scheme. It's a great scheme. I mean, it was supposed to have vaccines rolled out in all countries within the first 100 days of this year, and about 20% of the population vaccinated in each country by the end of the year. But when you see regions like the European Union and now possibly India impose export bans on vaccines, it's these countries that are going to be affected the most.
Absolutely. COVAX is a good thing, but from the beginning, it's lacked ambition. What we need to do is vaccinate the world. No one is safe until everyone is safe. My mother got the vaccine here in the UK a few weeks ago. We had a feeling of joy and safety, the freedom from fear that a vaccine brings. Everyone desires that safety, but also because of the mutations and the virus being spread all over the world, it won't be long before my mother is no longer safe, before the vaccines that are being rolled out in the US and the UK need to be updated. That's an insane situation. So we need to vaccinate the whole world. And COVAX is aiming, as you say, to perhaps get to 20% by the end of this year. Where's the ambition of the global community? The kind of ambition that seeks to eradicate polio or smallpox, to get this disease under control. We need to see that kind of ambition. Instead, we're seeing this squabbling between rich nations and this failure to override the rights of the pharmaceutical industry, to stand up at the WTO and say to South Africa, to India, to all the other countries that are calling for a waiver of intellectual property, which would enable the vaccine recipes to be shared widely, enable every manufacturer in the world to produce them. They're making this concrete proposal that this happens, and rich countries are standing up and saying, sorry, the innovation and the future profits of our industries are more important than your human lives.
Max, I want to squeeze in one quick question before I let you go. You know, as part of this vaccine nationalism, which we're seeing is that, you know, all these countries are racing to vaccinate their entire population. But the fact of the matter is, you know, the more transmission there is, we're going to see more variants. And the more variants that emerge, the more likely it is that we're going to need more work on vaccines. So isn't there, you know, a false sense of security here, especially in the long run? I don't have a lot of time.
Absolutely. It's only a matter of months before the vaccines that are being given out now, here in London where I am now, the safety that people are feeling is put in jeopardy. It's only a matter of months before someone who thinks they are safe finds themselves getting sick and dying from COVID-19, that their vaccine no longer works. So this is not something we can mess around with. We have to move as quickly as possible and flood the world with safe and effective vaccines. And that means facing down the pharmaceuticals and opening up the vaccine recipes for the world. That's what we need to do, and it needs to happen very soon indeed.
Okay, Oxfam's Max Lawson live for us from London. Thank you very much for your time.